Now it said Cush became the ancestor of the Ethiopian. We're going to go and read a little bit about Cush in a little while. But go ahead and read some more.
Mizraim of the Egyptians.
Now he said Mizraim of the Egyptians. Go ahead and read.
Canaan of the Canaanites. The pre-Israelite inhabitants of Palestine.
Go ahead and read.
And foot of an ancient people inhabiting Libya. In the Psalms, Egypt is referred to several times as the land of Ham.
Go ahead.
Evidently because of this biblical genealogy.
Now we're going to deal with this son here, Cush, a little bit. Because this said that he was the father of the Ethiopians, it said, didn't it? Right. And I'm going to show you what the word Ethiopia means. Let's read here from the last 2 million years, and we are reading from page 207. I just want you to read what's underlined and read that. We ain't going to wear you out with history. I know you don't want to hear it, but you're going to hear it today. Because I'm going to identify who this people is, who this Israelite is here. So we're going to read some Bible and we're going to read some history. But we're going to understand who the Israelites are. You're going to understand that you indeed are an Israelite. You are not a Negro. You are not colored. You are not black. You are an Israelite. And we are going to show you that you are an Israelite. Now, it said that Cush was the father of the Ethiopians. Show you what Ethiopia means. Go ahead and read.
Ethiopia. The name comes from the Greek Aethiops.
Go ahead.
Dark skin.
Dark skin. That's what Ethiopia means. So now Cush, he was the father of the Ethiopians. So that meant he was dark skinned, right? That's what it said. That's what we read, didn't it?
Right.
Let's go now to the Funk and Wagner's Encyclopedia now. And we're going to deal with another people here, the Egyptians. And we are reading from Funk and Wagner's Encyclopedia, and we are reading volume 8, and we are going to pick it up at page 360. Everybody been, if you just pass by TV, you see Egypt on the news now, don't you?
That's right.
And you see all these people, they look like Arabs, don't they?
That's right.
But yet they're calling themselves Egyptians, aren't they? Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. They are Arabs.
That's right.
And they are not the native Egyptians. We're going to show you something about the native Egyptians. And the reason I am doing this is because Israel and Egypt history is very closely connected.
That's right.
And we're going to even find out that the real Israelites, they look just like the Egyptians. Let's start reading here at, I just want you to read down to there and start right here. This is the Egyptians that we are reading about here. Go ahead and read.
The people. Most Egyptians are descended from the successive Arab settlements after the Muslim invasion.
Now he said most Egyptians, they descended from the who? Say that again.
From the successive Arab settlements.
So they seceded from the successive Arab settlements after the invasion. Go ahead and read.
Mixed with the indigenous pre-Islamic population.
Oh, they said they mixed with the indigenous pre-Islamic population. So in other words, when they got there, there was a people already there.
That's right.
The indigenous people. That means the native Egyptian was already there.
That's right.
And when they got there, they mixed with them. I'm going to show you first when that was that they got there. Then I'm going to show you how the indigenous people look. Let's read something here.
I got some more.
No, that's good. Okay. That's good for right now. We'll get back to the rest of that later. Now, this, again, this came out of World Book Encyclopedia, volume 6. And we are reading here about the invasion, the Arab invasion. Show you when it took place. Go ahead and read.
Egypt was a birthplace of civilization long before the start of its written history. This history goes back more than 5,000 years to about 3100 BC.
Go ahead.
For the story of Egypt until it fell to Arab invaders between AD 639 and 642.
So you had the Arab invasion around 6-something AD. But before that, You already had a people there, didn't you?
That's right.
They were the indigenous natives of the land. They was already there. In around 642, when the Arabs invaded, there was already a people there called the Egyptians. Go ahead and read on.
In AD 642, Muslim troops from Arabia captured Alexandria, the capital of Egypt. At the time of the Arab conquest, Egypt was a province of the Byzantine or East Roman Empire. For the next 200 years, Egypt was a province of the Arab Empire. Most Egyptians were converted from the Coptic Christian religion to Islam, the Muslim religion. They also began speaking Arabic and the language of the Arabs.
So now, what did you have here? Before 642, you already had an indigenous people there in the land that was called Egyptians. Right. Then when the Arabs invaded around 6-something, then they started to mix with the indigenous people that was there in the land. I'm going to show you how the indigenous people looked. This is how they looked. These are the real Egyptians here. You understand? Don't look nothing like them people you see on TV, do they? That's running up and down the street calling themselves Egyptians. This is how they look. This is how the real Egyptians look. This is the indigenous Egyptians right here. A dark race of people. So now, when the Arabs came in, they mixed with these people. Now we can go back and pick it back up again, Josh.
Okay.
Read it all. Start back there again.
Most Egyptians are descended from the successive Arab settlements after the Muslim invasion, mixed with the indigenous pre-Islamic population.
Now, who is the indigenous pre-Islamic population? You looking at them. So now when the Arabs came in, then they mixed with these people. Go ahead and read on.
This mixture has given the inhabitants of the Nile Valley physical characteristics that set them apart from the other Mediterranean peoples of the region. They are somewhat more stocky in build and have darker skin.
And why is it that they have darker skin? Because they came in and they mixed with this black people, the real Egyptians here. That is why they have darker skin. But now these are the real Egyptians. They are a dark race of people. Let's go and read something here from the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary. And read right down there about Ham. Okay. What does it say about Ham?
Okay. Ham, the youngest son of Noah.
Ham, the youngest son of Noah. Go ahead and read.
Born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood.
Go ahead.
He became the progenitor of the dark races.
Well, he became the forefather of what? Of the dark races, it says. And let's see who the dark races are. Go ahead and read.
Not the Negro.
But not the Negro. You got a Negro here. That's a dark race. That's what they call you. Negro. You understand what I'm saying? But Negro just simply means black. That's what Negro means. Don't mean nothing else, just black. But now he said Ham was the progenitor of the dark races, but not the Negro. Who then? Go ahead and read.
But the Egyptians.
But the Egyptians, they are dark race. Here we have them. Yes. That's out the Bible Dictionary. We didn't put that in there. You know who put that in there? A Gentile put that in there. Right. He told the truth. Yeah. The dark races, the Egyptians. He is the forefather of the dark races, the Egyptians. Here you looking at them. The indigenous people of the land. The ones that was there before the Arabs got there in 642 AD. Go ahead and read some more.
The Ethiopians.
Well, you know the Ethiopians is a dark race. You know that even now. Because the people that sitting over there in Ethiopia now, they are the native Ethiopians, rather. And what do the word Ethiopia mean? Dark skin. So yes, he was the forefather of the dark races, but not the Negroes. The Egyptians, the Ethiopians, and who else? Go ahead and read.
Libyans and Canaanites.
And Libyans and the Canaanites. So yes, he was the forefather of the dark races, and one of the dark races that he was the forefather of is the Egyptian. We're going to find out a little bit later that the Israelites look just like these people.
That's right.
Now, let's go to Exodus chapter 2, and we're going to pick it up at verse 11. Exodus chapter 2, and we'll begin reading at verse 11. Now, we're about to read about an Israelite named Moses. He was raised by the Egyptians, but he was an Israelite. Because the Pharaoh that was in power when Moses was born, he sent out the command to slay all of the Israelite boy babies. And Moses was among them. So what Moses' mother did was she hid him in a little basket and put him in the water and sent him down the river. And Pharaoh's daughter had her maids to go and take Moses out of the water. And she raised Moses as her son. But Moses was an Israelite. What she really did was she sent to get a maid to come and raise Moses. But you know who that maid turned out to be? Moses' real mother. So now, this is Moses after he had seen, because he knew he was an Israelite, after he had seen one of his brothers being whooped by an Egyptian. He rose up and he slew the Egyptian, and then Moses said, surely this thing is known. I got to get up out of here. So Moses fled out of there. Now, pick it up at verse 11. Go ahead and read.
And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown, that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied and he...
Who was his brethren? His brother was Israelite. He was out of the tribe of Levi. He was out of one of the tribes. The tribe he was out of was Levi. That was the priest tribe. So now he went out and he saw one of his brothers being mistreated. So Moses rose up and he slew the Egyptian. Go ahead and read.
And he spied an Egyptian smiting an Hebrew, one of his brethren.
Oh, so Moses was a Hebrew.
That's right.
So he smited the Egyptians, smite one of his brothers. Go ahead and read on.
And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand.
Go ahead and read.
And when he went out the second day, behold, 2 men of the Hebrews strove together.
Some of his own brothers. Moses thought that nobody see him, but 2 of his own brothers saw him.
That's right.
Two Israelites, Hebrew, saw him. They saw him. So now he said, Moses said, so now Moses feared that they was going to tell. Go ahead and read on.
And he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow?
Go ahead.
And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known.
Go ahead.
Now when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses.
Now Pharaoh got worried about it now. So now he threatened to slay Moses. So Moses is going to have to flee up out of there. Go ahead and read.
But Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian, and he sat down by a well.
Go ahead and read.
Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. Now
remember now, Moses is an Israelite. He's not an Egyptian. He is an Israelite.
That's right.
And remember, the Egyptians, they are a dog race of people. Go ahead and read.
And the shepherds, 17. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up.
So now these girls went out to water their flock. Then the shepherds came and they drove the girls away. Go ahead and read.
But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock.
Wait a minute. But Moses, the Israelite now, stood up and helped them and watered their flock.
That's right.
Go ahead and read on.
And when they came to Ruel, their father, he said, how is it that you are come so soon today?
Now the girls went back home and they got back sooner than they normally would get back. So now their father said, how is it that you came back so soon today? Go ahead, read on.
And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds.
No, it wasn't no Egyptian.